Truly a tragic incident. Steelers quarterback Dwayne Haskins has died early this morning after getting hit by a dump truck behind me on 595. Now, Florida Highway Patrol confirms that he was the pedestrian that was walking on a limited access facility and attempting to cross westbound lanes when there was oncoming traffic. Now, as for why he was walking, they don't know at this time.
On Saturday, April 9th, 2022, 24-year-old Dwayne Haskins, NFL quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was hit by a dump truck while walking on I-595 in Broward County.
On a busy stretch of highway in South Florida, a chilling call.
Rising a vehicle versus pedestrian. Pedestrian was walking on the highway.
That person turned out to be the Pittsburgh Steelers' 24-year-old quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, a former star at Ohio State University. According to police, Haskins died after being struck by a dump truck.
I said this individual is going to have a major accident if you don't get to him. It's very disturbing. I just didn't understand the situation. His arms were a little bit moving, like it might have been like he's waving.
While the circumstances remain mysterious, the painful loss of a young player rippled through the football world.
When we take a look at this incident, it becomes apparent that this was another satanic ritual sacrifice for the devil and his Antichrist. The first and most important question many people are asking is, why was he walking on the highway acting strangely in the first place?
It's very disturbing. I just didn't understand the situation. His arms were a little bit moving, like it might have been like he's waving.
It is clear that he was not himself at the time of this incident, which means he may have been under the influence of a substance, or worse, under the influence of an unclean, demonic spirit of a fallen angel. Remember, he played for the NFL, which is a reference to the Nephilim giants, or fallen angels. When we break down the meaning of his name, the possibility that he was used as a sacrifice becomes more apparent. Dwayne means descendant of the Dark One. Notice the reference to the all-seeing eye in this photo, which is the eye of Lucifer, who represents darkness and evil. Matthew 6:23 declares, "But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?" The name Haskins is a patronymic from the diminutive of the Old Norse personal name Askatil, composed of the elements As, meaning God, plus Katil, meaning kettle or sacrificial cauldron. Cauldrons are associated with witches and witchcraft. Historically, cauldrons were used in human sacrifice. The victims had their throats slashed over the bowls, or were drowned or suffocated in them. The horned god Cernunnos was torn apart and boiled in a cauldron, only to be born again. In Norse mythology, the one-eyed god Odin drank magic blood from a cauldron of wisdom to obtain divine power. Therefore, his name actually means the descendant of the Dark One, who was placed in God's sacrificial cauldron. Obviously, the mention of God here is a reference to the one-eyed, horned god, Satan. Dwayne was 24 years old, or 2 4s, which gives us the number 44. Also, notice the news reporter for CBS has the all-seeing eye symbol on display with the number 44 in her shot. We know that the number 44 is a reference to Obama. During college, Dwayne played for Ohio State. The symbol for Ohio is the letter O, also a reference to Obama. Here, he is playing for the Steelers with the letter O on his helmet, again a reference to Obama. His connection with the Steelers was not by happenstance. By 1840, iron and iron products were the #1 industry in Pittsburgh. If not for industrialist Andrew Carnegie bringing the Bessemer steel-making process to Pittsburgh in the 1870s, Pittsburgh's industrial moniker may have forever remained Iron City. The connection of Pittsburgh with iron points to the fallen angels, since they are referred to as iron in the scriptures and humans as clay. This can be found in Daniel 2:43, which declares, "And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay."
Basically, I'm here to announce that we're building Iron Man. I'm going to blast off in a second.
Pittsburgh is also connected with coal mining. In fact, it was the close proximity of Pittsburgh's abundant coal resources that enabled it to become the iron and steel-making capital of the nation. Coal is mined underground, and being underground is a reference to the underworld or hell and the unclean spirits of fallen angels that are chained there. This can be found in Jude 1:6, which declares, "And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, unto the judgment of the great day." This also connects to the explosion of the manholes in Times Square, which occurred on Sunday, April 10th, the day after Dwayne was sacrificed, but we'll discuss that in another video. Coal is also related to blacksmiths and forging steel. This connects the Pittsburgh Steelers to Vulcan, who is the god of fire, volcanoes, and blacksmiths. The etymology of Vulcan's name is connected to lightning, which is Barak in Hebrew. His symbol is the letter V, which is also connected to the Vulcan hand sign and the peace sign, which also represents the horned god, Satan. Make note of this, as we'll come back to it later. While playing for Ohio State, Dwayne wore the number 7. The number 7 on his jersey gives us the numbers 777, a reference to the Hebrew phrase Barack Obama, which was spoken by Messiah when he described Satan falling like lightning from heaven, and can be found in Luke 10:18. It is important to note that he was sacrificed on I-595, which hides a secret. When the 9 is inverted to a 6, this is what we find. I is the 10th letter of the alphabet, and 10 in Hebrew is Yod. The 5th letter in the Hebrew alphabet is Hey. The number 9 inverted becomes 6, and the 6th letter in the Hebrew alphabet is Vav. This is followed once again by the 5th letter in the Hebrew alphabet, which is Hey. Therefore, when the 9 in I-595 is inverted to a 6, it becomes I-565 or 10-565, since I is the 10th letter. When this is translated into Hebrew, we get the letters Yod Hey, Vav Hey, the name of God. Therefore, the location of this so-called accident was clearly not by any means chosen by accident, but instead was well planned and thought out in advance. It is important to note that this same code, 10565, can be found in the DNA sequence of all human beings in what is called the sulfuric bridge, which holds the entire DNA strand together. It appears after 10 nucleic acids are laid down, then after 5 acids, then after 6 acids, then again after 5 acids, and then the sequence repeats. The name of God, Yad-He, Vav-He, is imprinted in your DNA. But remember, they purposefully chose to change or invert one letter of Yah's name. Instead of I-565 or 10-565, this occurred on I-595, and the 9th letter in the Hebrew alphabet is Tate. The Tate represents good and evil, the two possibilities of a man, either to be crowned with the Spirit of God, living in submission to God, or to be crowned with the venom of the serpent, living in rebellion against God. When you look at the letter Tate in its evil form, you can clearly see the head of the serpent with a crown on it and its tail curled up behind. The fact that Tate is connected with the serpent and good and evil points to the serpent in the Garden of Eden and the fall of man, as found in Genesis 3:4-5, which declares, "And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil." Therefore, changing the 6th letter in the name of God, Yad-He, Vav-He, or the sequence 10-5-6-5, and replacing it with Tate, the 9th letter, which we know 9 represents Satan, is equivalent to being crowned with the venom of the serpent, which changes or alters your DNA sequence from 10-5-6-5 to 10-5-9-5, making you a child of the devil, living in rebellion against God. Dwayne played for Ohio State, which is part of the Big Ten, and he was sacrificed on exit 10.
Truly a tragic incident. Steelers quarterback Dwayne Haskins has died.
Both the Big Ten and exit 10 are references to the 10 kings that give their power to the Antichrist, as found in Revelation 17:12, which declares, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast." The 10 kings are connected to the 4th kingdom of Nebuchadnezzar's statue found in Daniel 2:40-43, the 10 toes and feet of it, which are made up of iron mingled with miry clay, and again points to the fallen angels who will attempt to mingle or bind themselves together inside human flesh. Not only that, but the number 10 is the Roman numeral X, which represents death. We saw this in the sacrifice of Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther, who was depicted as a one-eyed, false Messiah. As a side note, it is important to mention that Boseman was also connected with Obama in the number 42 when he played Jackie Robinson. The number 42 points to the length of time, the 42 months that the Antichrist will rule, as found in Revelation 13:5. April 15th is Jackie Robinson Day, and it just so happens that this year, April 15th, lands on Good Friday, the Friday before Easter Sunday, when sunrise services are held in honor of the sun god, or rising sun. the false Messiah, which points to Obama, whose logo is the rising sun. In Greek, the letter X is he, spelled CHI, which points to Chicago and the horned bull god Molech, to whom human sacrifice was made. A memorial was set up in Columbus, Ohio, at Ohio State for Dwayne. Notice the letter O is placed in between two number sevens. The seventh letter of the alphabet is the letter G. Therefore, 707 is G-O-G, the name Gog. Gog is the ruler of Magog and the prince of Meshech and Tubal, the demonic and sinister leader of ungodly peoples far and distant from Israel, whom he leads in a final assault against the people of God, but is shamefully defeated by the intervention of Yah upon the mountains of Canaan. This conflict is described in Ezekiel 38:39. We can be sure that they are making reference to Gog, Israel, and Ezekiel 38 and 39 by the student that they chose to interview about Dwayne.
Growing up, I watched a lot of Ohio State football. I remember him. I remember everything he did for the school. He was a big reason about why I came here.
Notice the Ohio State student is wearing a hat with the word Zion on it. Zion is another name for the land of Israel. It is important to note that Gog appears again in Revelation 20:7-9, where Satan is depicted after the millennial reign of Christ of gathering the nations of the whole earth, that is, Gog and Magog, against the saints in the beloved city, but they are destroyed and cast into the lake of fire. Keep this in mind as we'll come back to the gathering or stirring up the world against God's people later. It is important to note when Dwayne played for the Washington Commanders, the team wore a black patch with the number 49 on it. Once again, notice his use of the one-eye symbolism. The black patch represents death, and the number 49 was a reference to Bobby Mitchell, the franchise's first black player who passed away April 5th, 2020 at the age of 84. 4 plus 9 is 13, the number of rebellion, and as it turns out, 4/9 is the date that Dwayne Haskins was sacrificed. Bobby Mitchell was 84 years old at the time of his death, and 8/4 is a reference to Obama's birthday. Mitchell died on April 5th, or 4/5, and 4 plus 5 equals 9, and according to Anton LaVey, founder of the Church of Satan, the number 9 represents Satan. Not only that, but April 5th, or 4/5, was the day Obama returned to the White House.
Please welcome President Barack Obama.
Everybody have a seat. Have a seat. Thank you. Vice President Biden, Vice President. That was a joke.
The connection to April 5th, or 4/5, and Obama, who is from Chicago, also points to the Chicago Bull, Michael Jordan, who has 6 rings and returned to the game wearing the number 45. Notice in this picture of Jordan, when he returned to the NBA, he is wearing a Malcolm X hat with a picture of Malcolm X pinned to it. The name Malcolm is also Milcom, which comes from the root MLK, meaning king, and points to the corona or crown. Milcom is also another name for the horned bull god Molech, to whom apostate Jews sacrificed their children to. This connects the human sacrifice of Dwayne Haskins on Exit 10, which in Roman numerals is the letter X, and in Greek is the letter He, spelled CHI, which points to Chicago, the horned bull god Molech. Ultimately, this is meant to point to Obama as the Viking, sixth king, or sixth god, the horned god, Satan himself. On the day of his death, Dwayne posted a video of himself joking around with Najee Harris.
Is that Najee Harris? Can I have your autograph, please? You're Burberry? You have money on. Oh my God. Rub your chest. Peace. Step on the. Yeah.
Najee, who is number 22, played running back for Alabama, Obama, in college, which points to Obama. The number 22 on the front and the back of his jersey gives us the number 44, which also points to Obama, who is number 44. We saw this connection to Obama and Alabama through Forrest Gump and in the sacrifice of Miss Alabama, Zoe Sozo Bethel, who died when she fell from her apartment building in Miami. Dwayne used the name DH_Simba7 on his Instagram. The name Simba is a reference to the Lion King and points to Obama, who connected himself to the Lion King on April 30th, 2011.
Tonight, for the first time, I am releasing my official birth video. Let's take a look.
The Lion King is a reference to the lying king, the devil, and Satan, the father of lies, as found in John 8:44, which declares, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." In this video, Dwayne tells Najee to step on him.
Step on them. Yeah.
This is a reference to the 10 toes and feet of the last kingdom on earth, in which the fallen angels will attempt to mingle themselves with human beings, the iron mixed with miry clay.
Basically, I'm here to announce that we're building Iron Man.
Najee Harris then stands with his feet in the position of a Freemason.
Step on them. Yeah.
We saw these same foot positions be displayed by Wiz the Wizard, a rapper who was sacrificed in South Florida. YNW Melly, who allegedly sacrificed 2 of his friends in South Florida, and Kodak Black, who is from South Florida and who received a pardon from Donald Trump. Najee also flashed the peace sign, the V, which represents Vulcan, the god of fire, and the horned god, Satan. Dwayne was killed after he was hit by a dump truck. Dump trucks are used for transporting or moving materials such as dirt, gravel, or waste materials for construction. Dirt and gravel is the ground that the earth consists of. The definition of being moved means to transport from one place to another. However, a second definition means to cause others to feel an emotion, to be stirred up, or to think or act in a specified manner.
It's been a long time coming, but tonight, because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
Remember earlier, I told you that the memorial that was set up at Ohio State was a reference to Gog, and the student that was wearing the hat with the name Zion was a reference to Israel. Therefore, the use of the dump truck in the sacrifice of Dwayne Haskins is a reference to the demonic spirit of Satan himself, moving earth, causing the ungodly nations of the whole earth, Gog and Magog, to come against Israel, and ultimately for Satan to lead the ungodly against the camp of the saints of the Most High, as found in Revelation 20:7-9. According to reports, Dwayne's last social media post was a cryptic message which read, "It is what it is, will keep you at peace." The phrase, "it is what it is often an expression of frustration or resigned acceptance of a situation that cannot be changed. From this message then, it appears that Dwayne knew that his time was up and that he was going to be used as a human sacrifice, and there was nothing he could do about it. He had a tattoo on his arm which read, "Now is the time." This connects back to possession by a demonic, unclean spirit or fallen angel.
Yes, it is. Time is on my side. Hey, pal.
Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us this: "To everything there's a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven." Without a doubt, we are now living in the time of the end. Indeed, now is the time when the world will see Bible prophecy come to life. If you have not given your life to the Most High by accepting the blood sacrifice of the Paschal Lamb, Yahushua HaMashiach, which was shed on the cross as a propitiation for the redemption of sins, the time to do so is now. Amen. Shalom.